my gosh, it's finally here. The triangle has been destroyed. And not only was it destroyed, but it was such a beautiful disaster. I mean, this was so good. This episode of Girl Meets World is so perfect. I think that it totally makes up for the season 2 finale. Hold on, I got something up in here in my hair. It's crazy. Like, I've been laying down and I don't want to explain to you. But it was so good that I loved it. Oh my gosh. Girl Meets World. Okay, so let's start out with what I loved about this episode. First of all, it's a 10 out of 10. This episode was able to change my mind. The writers were so good, they were able to change my mind of what I thought, not only about the triangle, but also were able to make me realize of what they did with the season 2 finale for this episode. I mean, it was so clear. Everything was cleared up in this episode, and not only were the writers able to write an amazing story in that much time, but they were also able to do so many good things with time management. I mean, we've been talking about how Girl Meets World has had so many problems right now, currently, with time management, and they were able to blow that all away, and this was so good. So I loved this. I loved every minute of this episode. Not only was this episode informative, and again, great with time management, and the writers were able to change my mind, and probably many of your minds, as well with what they explained in the episode, but they were able to do it with one character that I think was so smartly written, so greatly written, that it just changed everything. I mean, Girl Meets World has literally changed for the better, and I feel like that this one character that'll probably never come back into the show, was so great. I mean, this was written perfectly. So let's talk about this episode. Why was it so great? The triangle has been destroyed, and I describe it as a beautiful disaster. I mean, number one, it was beautiful because I just can't believe this. Two Ryan and Miley, were able to find great solutions and that made sense. And one character in particular, Josh, was able to make that happen. And also helped explain why that happened. So that was amazing. And then second of all, Riley ended up with Lucas, which was predictable, but was also fair, and was also very great. You know, it was a good balance. And I feel like because of that season 2 finale, because of all of season 2, I feel like that it really helped balance that out. It took so much time, and that's what I have to say about Girl Meets World. The writers took you long enough, but you finally did it. And I feel like, again, that time really helped, and in the end, balance out that Maya and Riley. Because again, it was predictable, but they made it to where it seemed fair, and then it also seemed like a good length of time to where Maya and Riley could really be in this triangle. To make the triangle make sense. So I feel like, again, the writers wrote this so perfectly. It just blew me away. As you can see, I am blown away by this episode. So not only, again, were they able to find 2 solutions, but they were able to do it in great time management and great overall explanations. So I loved it. So let's talk about it in depth. So of course this episode is part 2. I loved that Riley ended up talking to Evan all night. I mean, that was great. And again, it was just so good that she found the solution. And this character, that's the character I was talking about, is Evan. Now he's the son of, I can't remember her name. Wasn't her name Lauren? Or something like that. I don't know. Like, you know, the girl, Corey, at the ski lodge, blah, 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 blah. We all know that. That's her son. So I was actually blown away by that explanation as well. But anyway, it was so great when they woke up, or I guess not woke up, but when the sun rose and they were like, oh my gosh, we've been talking all night. What does this mean? I loved it. It was so cool. And it was, again, so great that one character was able to rattle the cage to end up making this triangle die. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I don't know if you guys did. But the fact that Riley spent all night talking to him really matured. I mean, that writing was so mature and was handled so well. Even, again, because this is also a Disney show, they had to appeal to younger viewers, so it wasn't as, like, you know, perfect as it could have been. You know, it wasn't, like, really deep that they were talking all night long. It was kind of, like, paved over by that Disney style. So it wasn't great, but it did mature so well. I mean, it was so well written that I felt like Girl Meets World does have a chance to be moved over to Freeform. I definitely think that should happen, because after season 4, it's done. Like, Girl Meets World, no Disney show has ever been able to pass a season 4, because Disney wants to bring in new shows constantly. And that's something that I definitely think should not happen. I feel like Disney should keep shows longer than 4 seasons, and I think that Girl Meets World, if it keeps writing episodes like this, could definitely break that barrier. Because honestly, no one, no one really watches Disney Channel for a lot of the other shows. Girl Meets World is really one of the reasons why Disney has still has fans that it got when the show started. You know what I mean? Like, it's because all the shows have been going pretty okay recently. I think Bunked has been pretty good over the season. And then Best Friends Whenever, it has its ups and its downs. And I don't really know anyone who watches Backstage. And again, Bizaardvark, I've heard that it's not great as well. And Second in the Middle is different. I feel like Second in the Middle helped, but people really stomped. The solution for people for that show was burn it to the ground. So I feel like Girl Meets World is pretty much the only reason why these fans are sticking around. And I think that they can break that Season 5 barrier if they keep writing like this. Now, they've had horrible episodes in the past, Girl Meets World has, but I definitely think that they are on the right track to redemption and also to keep the show on air because I don't want it to be canceled. I don't want the show to be canceled. So either it stays and breaks that Season 5 barrier that no other Disney show has been able to do, or they get it moved over to Freeform where it can continue being made. Because Disney, of course, wants to bring in those new shows. And it's sometimes horrible because it's just not, it doesn't work out. But it was really great to see that Riley had spoken to him all night long. I loved that. I hope you guys loved that too. And then, of course, like I said, time management. Of course, when after they were talking, Topanga and Corey chimed in a little bit throughout the episode, what they thought about their experiences. I love the book coming back. That was really nice. The book about the Falcon, that was really great too. Farkle, Zay, and Smackle, not even to be heard only a few times. And I love also that Farkle and Smackle have relationship goals. I mean, they are the power couple. Forget about this triangle stuff. Why can't we have a show all about their relationship? Because they were so good. I loved them throughout the episode. When they were, like, hugging and stuff, they were like, oh, this is it. Conversation is great. We've had great conversations. I love it. But again, they didn't have so much in the episode, and I feel like their time management for the stuff that they did get was fantastic. And I feel like it was great. It was, again, really well written. Now, not only did we have a little bit of them, but we didn't have any Auggie! Yay! Oh my gosh, you guys know that I have not liked Auggie this season at all. I don't know what it is. The side stories always bother me. Although Auggie wasn't in my last review for part 1, I talked about how Auggie wasn't even barely in the episode. He was only there for, like, comedic stuff throughout the fantasy world. Like, there was no actual side story, so I liked that as well. But when there's no Auggie at all, yay! I loved it. I think it's so great. But we didn't get any Auggie, so I love that. Again, great time management. So that was really great, too. And then Evan, of course, the guest character, got some good time management. But I love Josh and Maya. Relationship goals. Oh, it was so good. So if you guys don't know, again, as I said, Riley ends up with Lucas. Josh ends up with Maya. I rooted for that relationship back in season 2. I didn't, I don't know. I talked about, one of my reviews, I had said that I wanted Maya to either end up with, like, Farkle or, like, Josh. That's what I'd said, like, back before they did the whole love triangle thing. But Josh, again, really well written. He is the one. Also, not only Evan is a character very sneakily that helps all rattle the cage, but Josh rattles the cage in a well-mannered way by explaining that how Maya was acting like Riley was her protecting Riley, and the only way for her to protect Riley from Lucas was to become Riley, and that's why she had fell in love with Lucas in the first place. I love it. I love that explanation. It makes so much sense, and they explained it in such a well-written way. I'm telling you, this episode is probably the best they've ever written in terms of both time management and big, blow-your-mind stuff for Girl Meets World. So Josh ends up, ever since they held up their hands like Josh and Maya did, I was like, oh my gosh, they're together. Oh, it just makes me feel so good. And I feel like I'm shipping them even more now, and I want Josh to come back more frequently, because not only was he great in this episode, and the actor who plays Josh always does a great job, but Maya and Josh, oh, it's good every time. And it's so weird, because not that long ago, it was 3 years older, never gonna happen, and then boom, it just hit, and it was like, even though it hit so fast, they didn't rush it, and it was so well written that it made sense. So everything really fell into place for Josh and Maya. They're waiting, they can't be together right now. They agree that they're going to wait for each other. down the line someday, and that's probably going to happen, and I'm so excited for it. Hope season 4, I hope season 4 they get, they start pursuing that a little bit more. Obviously not head on, because again they're going to probably have to wait till Maya's done with school, and they have their lives ahead of them and what they're going to do, what they're going to plan to be together. But I don't know if that's going to happen, because again, Riley says at the end of the episode, we're going to meet new people all the time. Who knows what's going to happen? But I hope that Josh relationship works for her in the end, because it's so good. Oh, I just love it. It just gave me the feels, so it's great. So overall, this episode was fantastic. I mean, it was on point. It did great. The pacing, there were good things about this, and there were bad things. I think that one of the moments I did not like about this episode, probably the only thing, was the music cues, switching over to the next scene. They didn't do the thing where they zoom out, when they do the scene cuts, cut to the next scene, and there's a shot of New York and stuff like that, and then they go to the next scene. They couldn't do that here, so what they did was Maya was upstairs, I believe, or no, I don't know where she was, but she was here, and then Riley was upstairs, and Maya came. They both came together, and they were shook their heads. That part of the episode where they nod their heads and they go to the bay window. Or I guess it's not really a bay. Well, I guess it is. I don't know. When they do that, they nod their head and they go off to the window. That was really bad. That was actually really bad. The music cue was horrible, and it really distracted me for what was going on until they got back to having their conversation. So that was one of the bad things about the episode, was the music cues were so off. But other than that, it was really good. It was, again, fantastic. I mean, the writing was so great. It made sense. It had every explanation. It had every twist and turn. And I just think that it did so well. So what do you guys think? Did you like how it ended off with the triangle dying? Because again, it was a beautiful disaster. There was and the disaster part was rattling the cages with Evan. But it was beautiful to see all the other characters come together and really explain what was going on. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? I'm excited to see what they do next with Lucas and Riley. Again, I really want to see more of Josh and Maya, but of course that's not going to come because Josh is a recurring character. But we're just going to have to wait and see. So as you can see, I just love this episode. I hope you guys did too. I expect all of you to comment down below and telling me, is this the right thing? Did they do the right thing? Did you love what they did with it? So comment down below. The links are there to my other Girl Meets World videos. The links are there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.